Hello everybody, Roxabox90 here, back with another Magic the Gathering news, headlines, highlights, speculation. We have a bunch of announcements from Wizards, and because they just want to mess with our mind, classic Wizards, they don't give us much information, but this leaves room for me to speculate, and I love to speculate. That's one of my favorite things to do around Magic the Gathering, is speculate about stuff. So let's hop into the first news announcement, which is they have finally put up the page for Commander 2016, November 11th. This thing's coming out. What is it going to be? It's going to feature 5 4-color Commander decks. Now, I've spoken about this before, way back when. What are the possibilities? Allied colors, wedges, monocolor, 5-color. Honestly, I know I made a video a long time ago about it. I don't recall 100% my opinion, but from what I remember, I don't really know how they're going to make 4-color work well. I think that's part of the reason why 4-color has always been that really awkward, that really bizarre kind of combination. If you'll recall, the one set of cards that were these 4 colors that should have been legendary and should have, because we don't currently have any 4-color legendaries, should have been the Nephilim. Magic Man Sam made a fantastic video about the Nephilim, giving you background information, all that stuff. So definitely go check it out on his channel. I'm sure you can search for it on this little thing called YouTube. And the Nephilim themselves are really unique identifying monsters. I know in some play groups they've even just said to heck with it. They're legendary and just put legendary. I'm running this as my commander. I don't care what you guys think. This is legendary. It should be legendary. They just screwed up, because there's no 4-color commanders. Now they're going to be making 4-color commanders. Now, the interesting with the Nephilim was that they were all awful, more or less. The best one was okay, and none of them were particularly great or good or made a big impact, even though the art was fantastic and the flavor was fantastic, and they fit really well with the multicolor Alara block. That being said, here, they're definitely going to be designing 4-color commanders to hopefully push the gauntlet and give us some new stuff. It's nice also they're having 56 new cards that are Eternal format playable. My gut feeling is Wizards has started off originally saying go all out, make really powerful cards, and they've had each one of the releases have at least one big impact card for Vintage Legacy until last year. Last year's was the first balanced. Why? Because $34.99 MSRP retail price is reasonable, but most stores were pushing prices $40, $50, $60, $70, $80 when the deck contained a very sought-after staple that would be seen in play in Eternal format. So my Wizards last year nailed it pretty well, where, in fact, if anything, I think the decks were a little undervalued, but they were all fairly equal. So it helped with production, it helped with the fact that people were able to get the decks they wanted, but it also dimmed down the excitement a little bit, and the decks themselves weren't quite as flashy, or unbalanced, for that matter. Now, I think Wizards will start trying to give a decent price to it. So let's say $34.99. They're probably going to try to push value to $40 to $50 range just to make it worthwhile, but also make it so stores don't push it up. That would be my gut feeling, and the longer Wizards does this, the better they'll get at it. 4 colors, though, is going to be a tricky sell, and I look forward to seeing what happens come the fall. Kaladesh, we are returning, or rather returning for the first time to Kaladesh. Returning in that we've heard about Kaladesh, we know about Kaladesh. It's Chandra's, the Planeswalker's home plane, and we've had little bits and teasers for Magic Origins. What's it going to be about? Not a clue. It says imagination, invention, and ingenuity. So invention tends to mean some kind of artifice. Ingenuity is usually blue related, and imagination tends to mean interesting epic scapes, world. I don't know. It's interesting here. We don't really, I don't really have too much information on Kaladesh. I don't think we were really given much, but based on how she looks, based on this thing in her hand, and based on the fact that Chandra's parents as a card were very artifact themed, my gut feeling is that there's going to be some kind of artifact theme. Now, Mirrodin is the artifact set, and the artifact block, and the artifact plane. They're not going to be doing a pure artifact set, but one thing I've noticed, which is definitely made me think about it, is that why do we have so many equipment cards coming out, especially equipments that seem to work with very specific kinds of things or work with other equipments? Very bizarre to me what's with the printing levels of equipments and equipment related cards, but not really having any particularly crushing situation. And my gut feeling is that Kaladesh will have some kind of equipment related theme, one based purely on speculation. She's holding some kind of weapon here. Maybe it's equipment plus magic. There'll be some kind of connection between those two. Who knows? Don't really know, but I definitely think there'll be some kind of artifact sub-theme going on. But hopefully they won't limit it there, and they'll give us some interesting stuff. And also expect to see a new Chandra, because that would almost definitely happen. But we should know starting in September what's going to happen with the set, since Wizards didn't give us any information. There you go. Planechase Anthology. For those who remember, we had the Dual Deck Anthology from 2014. This came out, was very expensive, and has only gone up in price over the last almost 2 years now. Year and change. And the thing about this product is it gives away for people who either are collectors and or want these older, difficult to find product. It just gives you another way to get them at a somewhat reasonable price. And in this case, getting brand new product, getting all 86 planar cards plus 4 60-card decks for $150, it does seem a little bit expensive. And I think Wizards has been pushing Sand Commander's Arsenal, which was ended up being very, very expensive. And you have the Dual Deck Anthology, which is much more now, but it was less. $150 is really pushing it for the product. It's really Wizards just printing for money, but I definitely see that they're printing it because a lot of people like the playing cards, and it's very expensive and difficult. Go on eBay, try to get your oversized planar cards on eBay. They're going for $2 to $5 each, and there's 86 of them, so good luck with that. I think it's nice that Wizards is trying to do this for players, and yeah, it's expensive for people. Many people won't be able to get their hands on it, but what's the other option? Wizards shouldn't print any Planechase anthologies for anyone? That just seems ridiculous, especially because some of these sets will be broken apart and the individual planar cards will be out there, which means that the overall prices of planar cards will likely go down, at least in the short run. I think that's an overall positive. So there we go. That's coming out. And lastly, I Am Avacyn. There's been a number of stories coming out surrounding the Shadows of Innistrad set, and now we get to find out what happens to Avacyn in the Unmaking. Well, what's that card called? The art is in here. When he's destroying Avacyn. When Jace is destroying... Sorin is destroying Avacyn. And Unmaking. Something Unmaking. I forget the name of the card because it's really late and I'm tired. It doesn't really matter. That card, this is the story. This is Avacyn's thought process. This is what led to it. And actually, it's pretty badass. The art makes it seem as if Sorin just said, yeah, whatever, and destroys her. Not so the case. Definitely recommend checking it out for any Vorthos players, any players who love the story and the flavor and been following the set so far. Definitely recommend checking it out. You can check out the other stories too. It'll all be linked here. I'll link it all down below in the description. So that is a lot of news and a lot of talking. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed the video, please tap the like button. If you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe. As always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.